Hello, RinkRats. We're here with the skipper, my buddy, and one of my dad's closest friends, Joe Morgan, who very few people know unless you're on the inside. Played hockey also, okay? And was a phenomenal hockey player here at Boston College. What year did you get out, Joe?
53.
53, and you played with guys like Wimpy Burnett, guys like that. Who was your goaltender?
Maggio and Carroll.
Peter Maggio.
Joe Carroll.
Carroll, and a Walpole native. A lot of great hockey players came out of Walpole. Tell me about Butch Songer.
In high school, Butch was a center, and of course he's one of the best players in the league, but when he came over here, they made a defenseman of him. And he didn't appear like he was a fast skater, but if you skated alongside with him, you couldn't catch him. It was amazing. He had his funny stride. He was going faster than he looked.
That was, my father said he was the greatest hockey player he ever saw in his life.
I wouldn't say that.
Who would you say is the greatest BC hockey player you ever saw?
You should ask me these things before I came on.
I know. It's a tough question. You can't pick
tough.
one.
I mean,
You saw a lot of guys.
the guys that I saw lately, Gaudreau is the best one I saw.
Johnny Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey.
Yeah.
Yep.
He proved it in the big leagues, didn't he?
He's still proving it.
I know.
Still proving it.
He's
Now,
great.
Joe led the team in assists 1951-52. Tell me about, there's one guy that nobody talks about, Jimmy Duffy. How good was Jimmy Duffy?
Jimmy Duffy was a real good skater. That was his best bet, his skating ability. He was a pretty good player other than that, but he was very quick.
What about Jack Mulhern?
Jack, his sophomore year, he was one of the best I've seen. He was dynamite. But then, after that, he wasn't as good. He put on a little weight.
He did put on a little weight.
He was never the same after that.
They say he was hockey fast, like blue line to blue line flying.
Well, he was clever with his stick. He was really good. There's no question.
What about Lenny, another Walpole guy?
Another scrappy guy, good with his legs.
Yeah.
Always at the right spot, too.
Yep.
Another Walpole hero.
Yep. Who were you lined up with when you were playing?
Snooks had me with many guys. I even played with Lenny and Harrington for a while. And then I played with Saltmarsh, Burnett.
You played with Whip?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also Frank O'Grady, who was an excellent player.
What number did you wear?
I can't remember. I think it was 11.
Number 11.
I'm not a numbers guy.
No.
I played a lot of baseball.
You played baseball too? I thought you just played hockey. You played baseball also?
I played in the big leagues, you hot. What do you give me a line of crap?
This is a hockey interview, man.
Well, so what? Baseball's tougher to play than hockey, I'll tell you that.
Coaching? No, not coaching, managing. Don't hit me. I don't want to give you a demotion.
What do you mean now? If you call me a coach, you cost me a lot of
I
money.
know. We've had this argument many times before. And I know I'm not the only guy that's made that mistake.
I know. So anyway,
it's just a slip of the tongue, man. Growing up, when you were growing up, how'd you get into hockey? Where'd you guys skate?
We skated on Memorial Pond in Walpole.
Yeah.
Walpole in those days had water all over the place, so we always had ice somewhere.
Yep.
That's one advantage we had. Walpole is probably the best hockey town in Massachusetts in the years because we had only about 6,000 people in that town. Arlington and all these other things had a lot more than Walpole. And we beat Arlington. I always tell people Arlington's my favorite town because they never beat Walpole in postseason hockey.
You like them?
How's that?
Because you kicked their rear ends. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
We beat them 5-3, 1-0, and 8-1. How's that?
Now you had 3 hat tricks.
I did where?
You had 3 hat tricks. Let me get my cheaters on.
In BC?
You had 3 hat tricks at BC against, I'm going to pick them up, Princeton.
Oh, I had a big game. That was in Lynn we played.
Princeton, Tufts, and MIT. You had 3 hat tricks.
Tufts and MIT didn't have very good teams, but Princeton, I think Princeton beat us down there in Lynn. That time I had 3 hits.
At the Lynn Arena?
Lynn Arena, yeah. They were pretty good. They beat us that night.
Tell us about, we'll mention this, the longest baseball game ever.
What about it?
Tell me about it. Did you end that game on purpose?
Yeah.
That's the rumor.
Yeah, the umpires called it.
All right.
But there was a saying by the Irish that the sun dances in the sky on Easter Sunday. Well, I was coming home on Easter Sunday at 4:08, and that sun does not dance in the sky. Not that year. How about that for a story?
The rumor was you just wanted to go home.
You know, when we replayed, we were going to play the next day, but Rochester didn't want us, so they played when they came to town later.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make that game go 40 innings, but we scored in the first inning of the replay without even making an out. The irony of it all.
The irony is the only Irish emotion. You know that.
You got it.
You know that. Now let me look at this. 68 points you had in
No.
you had a 1.7. You had 68 points, 51, 52. What was your best year?
I led the scoring in my junior year.
Yep.
37 points.
Yep.
And the year before...
But how many games did you play? You probably
20.
played 20, right?
Yeah, 20. And the other years, one year Siglaski had 34 points. I think Frank O'Grady had 33 and I had 32.
Nobody remembers that name, Frank O'Grady. He was a hell of a player,
Yeah,
though, right?
O'Grady was a great skater and a tough kid.
How good was this guy, Wimpy Burnett?
Wimpy was a scrappy type guy. He was pretty good, though. Moved around pretty good. He was strong on his skates.
Who were your big defensemen back then?
Well, we had Emery was pretty good. Billy Emmons played.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some of the other guys.
Now, you guys played in the Beanpot before it was called the Beanpot,
No,
right?
I didn't play in the Beanpot.
Was that the next year
Yeah.
afterwards?
I signed a contract my junior year to play ball.
Yeah.
So therefore I couldn't play hockey my senior year.
When you were a kid, Joe, did you like baseball better or hockey?
Let's put it this way. Hockey was a lot more fun because when you got on the ice, it was up to you to get in the action. Baseball, you could stand out there, double her, and not a good ball hit through.
Right.
I loved hockey.
Less boring.
I found hockey to be so easy to play, it wasn't even funny.
When was the last time you put skates on?
About 35 years ago. You want to hear the story?
I would love to hear
I
the
was
story.
on Turner's Pond in Walpole, 8 in the morning by myself. I fell and landed on my chest. I thought I was half dead. Well, anyway, 3 years later, the guy came up to me at the Lafayette House and said, "Joe, how's your chest?" I said, "It's good. How's yours?" He said, "I saw you take that header up Turner's Pond that morning." I said, "What a bum you were. You didn't come down and help me out." That was the story. 3 years later, he come up to me.
Long memory, but not a good one. Talk to us about, and we're going to mention our mutual buddy, Joe Augustine, in the URI hockey program.
The URI? Well, I was down there last year, got to know Joe pretty good.
Another goal.
I went down there and I spoke to the players. And Joe's just had his back done.
For the 10th time.
I hope it does good.
Did you see the picture of his scar?
No, I didn't.
Looks like Terry Sawchuk's face.
No kidding.
It's not a pretty sight.
I
Joe,
called
call
him.
out to Joe.
I called him the other day, said he was coming along.
He was lying.
I figured he might have.
He was
He
lying.
was tough, wasn't he, on the ice?
One of the best defensemen that ever played. Not here, he played in the other end, but one of the.
Yeah,
I'm going to say top 4, top 5 anyway.
I figured he was a tough customer.
You know what I mean? What else do you want to talk about, Joseph? Anything? You going to Florida, you're going to hit some golf
The
balls.
rinks today are too small for these kids. They hit so much and they're so big and fast. These kids as a group are faster than our guys, hands down.
Well, it's just, and the thing is, they're faster, but you got to figure too, there used to be 2 refs, now there's 4, there's 2 extra guys on the ice,
Yeah.
just with the refs.
Yeah.
They're flying 100 miles an hour,
Yeah.
but I don't like changing the rules. I like the game fundamentally as it was originally designed. I assume you feel the same way.
Yeah, baseball's the same way.
You know what I mean? I hate it when they keep changing the rules.
Look at baseball, with all these cameras and.
We were just having this conversation before. It ruins the game.
Yeah.
They're going in the sideways with the hallway to review plays and everything. When they take the human element out of the game, it ruins it.
Especially the umpire behind the plate. I hope they never do that.
Did you get along with umpires?
Oh, yeah. I had umpires by mistake at night after they threw me out during the game once in a while.
Get a fillet, I hope. Was it a flank steak? Was it a good cut?
It's a tube steak. That's a hot dog.
It was a steak-em. Right out of the freezer.
What else? What else?
What else do you want to talk about? Let me look close. I'm going to embarrass myself here because I didn't think I'd run
What
into
do you
this
think
guy.
the toughest of the big fours?
Wait, this is my show. You're asking me questions now?
Football, hockey, baseball, and basketball. What do you think is the toughest sport to play?
Well, I never played football, obviously. Basketball, obviously. I would say football, just because those guys, they're all banged up when they're 40. You know what I mean?
I don't mind by physical. I mean
Mentally?
the actual game itself.
Right here.
Baseball's the toughest one of them all. You know why? Hitting, running, fielding, throwing, nobody can help you. You gotta do it yourself.
What was
It's as simple as that.
Ted Williams? He was having a conversation with, was it Bobby Jones or somebody like that? I can't remember. And they were comparing hitting a baseball with hitting a golf ball, and which was harder. And Ted Williams saying, well, try hitting a golf ball when somebody's throwing it at you. You know what I mean?
Tipping up and down.
Right? Who were your greatest finds, baseball-wise?
Fine.
Your greatest recruits?
I had
Your greatest discoveries, baseball-wise? Because I know you scouted and you found some great players.
when I was scouting, I only scouted 2 years.
Who's your favorite baseball player that you
My
coached?
favorite hockey player is Milt Smith. Now that we're talking hockey.
Okay, we're talking hockey.
Best all-round hockey player I ever saw.
Stuck me into a lot of Bruins games over the years. Take the elevator up in the freight elevator and sit wherever you want.
There you
He
go.
was always good like that.
This is a pretty good setup.
Yeah.
What else?
I don't know, Joe. What else do you want to talk about?
We've been talking
Think hockey.
about it enough.
All right. My buddy Joe Morgan, RinkRats, legend hockey player. Baseball secondary. He's a hockey guy. Joe, you want to say goodbye to the RinkRats? What advice would you give to young hockey players and young athletes today?
Well, in baseball, it's a different story. When you're young, throw the ball every day of your life to build up your arm. Have you ever seen a catcher with a sore arm? Think about it. Very seldom. You know why? When he's 12 or 14 and he wants to be a catcher, he's throwing the ball all the time, and by the time he's 20, he's thrown 10,000 balls more than anybody else.
From his knees.
Yeah, and he's built up his arm then. That's why he don't get a sore arm. That's my theory. Did you hear anyone ever ever tell you that before?
No.
Good.
Who are the only two guys in Massachusetts that carry a Sharpie to sign autographs?
Joe Morgan and Bobby Orr. You got a good memory.
Well, not really, but I remembered that. All right. Anything else you want to touch on?
Horse racing. What do you want?
Why'd you go to BC?
Why? Because Dartmouth didn't take me. Eddie Jeremiah.
Safety school? BC safety school?
No, Eddie Jeremiah, the great coach at Dartmouth, wanted me, and he sent a guy to interview me, and the guy gave me a lousy report, I guess, so I didn't get taken by Dartmouth. So I went to BC and I beat the crap out of them in baseball and hockey for 3 years. How's that?
Vengeance is best served
There it
cold,
is.
right? All right.
There it is.
Joseph Morgan. What's your middle name?
Mike,
Joseph Michael Morgan. My buddy, one of my dad's lifetime buddies. A great hockey player and a great guy.
you know what?
Glad I ran into him. What else?
I
you
don't
got?
think I ever played against a hockey player that I thought was better than me. I'm not saying I was the greatest, but to be a playmaker, scarer, back check, forecheck, corner play, team play, I never saw one better. But I'll tell you who the toughest one was to play against. Rodenheiser. You ever hear of him?
I have, but where did he play? I can't remember where he played. BU guy. It's always the BU guy.
That guy never stopped skating. He was small, but he was strong and tough.
Forward?
Yeah. Toughest player I ever played against.
Who was the toughest goalie that you faced?
Probably Pickard. Remember him?
Ray Pickard?
Ray Pickard, yeah. He was very good.
What was the team when you were in the locker room that you were going to play at BC that you were just like, okay, we got a big game tonight? When you were playing, like you knew it wasn't going to be a layup.
What?
When you knew it was going to be a tough game. BU game?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Were they always a tough team back then too?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They had older players, too.
Did you play against Jack Dougherty?
I did it, yeah. Did a good job against him.
Did you? Did you cover him?
Well, he was a wing, I was a center.
Still could have covered him.
Yeah, I did. He always went to the left side when he went by it.
And you knew that.
Yeah.
And you knew
He was
that.
a
Student to the
right-handed-
game. That's coming from a student to the
He
game.
was a right-handed shot. Good player, boy.
Yep.
Big, strong. See, these guys were all out of the Army, though. They were 4 and 5 years older than we were. Butch Song and them guys,
Yeah,
they
that's
were
true.
out of high school. They were 24 years old. That's why they wouldn't let freshmen play those days. They thought they might get hurt by these bigger guys. Did you know that?
Yeah, the guys who were in the war. I mean, my father was a 24-year-old junior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Songen, I'm sure, was in the same boat. He was in the Army. All those guys.
Gary, Red Sonata, the Kellys, all of them. BU had Garrity, Red Sonata, the other Kelly guy. They had a real old team.
What about Warren Lewis? How good was
He
he?
was fast, very good skater,
Yeah.
very good in the corners, all that kind of stuff.
I'm going to call him tomorrow and tell him that you gave him a compliment.
Yeah, he was good. Of course, I never played with him. He was gone by the time I got there.
All right. All right, Joe.
He was a senior when I was a freshman.
Yep. What's your best memory of playing for BC?
In hockey,
Yeah. What's like when you think of a great memory playing for BC? What is it?
I don't know. Trying to think.
All right. All we have is time.
I remember I gave a pep talk in the Princeton game after the first period when they were banging the hell out of us. And that's the game I had the hat trick on.
Just gonna say.
We woke up, but it was too late. I think we lost 5-4. So,
You got a hat trick and you lost the game?
yeah,
5-4?
against Princeton.
Oh, that's the saddest story I've ever heard in my life.
I don't know about that. I'm looking at your notes
I
here.
know, it's all
and the first thing is so damn
calligraphy.
small you can't read it.
I know. I know.
Put your glasses on.
Let's see what else we got here. All East in 52.
Yeah.
Joe was all East in 52.
Yeah, that's the last year I played.
Did you go play baseball and then come back and graduate? Or?
Yes, I did.
You did, okay.
I had it in my contract that I would come back to BC and finish my senior year.
Was-
Before I went to the minors.
What was the time lapse between that?
What do you mean?
Like, you went, you played in the minors, you played pro, and then you came back. So what year did you officially finish up, like, school?
53
53.
with my regular class.
Okay.
In other words, I didn't go in the minor leagues until, anyway, I got out in 53.
All right.
But they let me, oh, that's it. They let me stay in school, and then I finished up and went out to play in June when I woke it up.
All right.
2 years in a row.
All right. Any other thoughts? What else is popping into your head?
There are a lot of things in my head that I can't think of.
All I've got is rocks. You have ideas. All right.
These kids today, one gripe I got against them is that they don't shoot the puck when they get in the shooting area.
Yeah.
Let the puck go. Don't try to
Too many passes.
Too many stick handles.
Yep.
Shoot that damn puck every time you get it. That's what Esposito and all them guys did.
You know what? The last game I was at with Lenny,
Yeah.
before Lenny passed away, Lenny Sidlowski, he was standing out here watching the game. He said the same thing. There was a play where the guy did one extra dipsy doodle, and Lenny was going, you got to shoot the puck. You got to shoot the puck. So maybe that's a Walpole thing.
No, Jerry tells me
Jerry says the same thing, but do they listen? They're doing it
Hey,
tonight.
listen, they had about 4 good chances to shoot the puck in that first period. Didn't do it.
Too many passes.
Yeah, stick handle shit.
Yep.
They're always trying to stick handle in traffic. There's no way you're gonna do it.
Shoot the
Shoot
puck.
the goddamn puck.
Shoot the goddamn puck. Coming from the skipper. All right.
I gotta go.
All right. Joe Morgan, one of the best, one of my favorite people of all time. Joe, say goodbye to the RinkRats.
The RinkRats, I say goodbye.
Farewell.
I'll be back, though.
Adieu.
I'll be back.
All right. Thanks, Skip. We'll see you later.
So.